we don't care at all about rule of law. Not at all. It does not apply to this country. We do not care. In fact, what we do is then we attack the people that are trying to get people to comply with international law. And then people are so shocked in this country that this new, what I call Mangione monetary theory, because Mangione economics is what? Are you familiar? You're familiar with Luigi Mangione, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know we had a school of economics named.
I did that. I'm calling that, that's what they're going to get, is Mangione monetary theory. Because when you have so much violence and it's constant violence, we're a whole society full of violence, and then turn around and actually with a serious face, any of these people that do these press conferences on behalf of the administration, that violence at these demonstrations and these are violent protests and violence has no place and violence isn't the answer. And I think, oh, but contraire. I actually think that we've proven violence is the only answer, and that is the level that this oppressor has determined was reasonable. And that's where we are now at this point. And I'm not, I'm angry because I don't like that I have violent thoughts, because I don't want to think like that. But I seriously watch people like Netanyahu, and I just think, yeah, we need him dead. These people need to be dead. They need to be dead.
He's probably going to die peacefully in his sleep in his bed in his old age. And that's a great injustice for the world. But what they're doing now, and we have to say it's Zionist groups behind the snatching of these students, that they can be called terrorists, that they're wholesale going through the list of student visas and just without informing the visa holder, without informing the school, just saying you don't have a visa anymore and you can be detained. The student an Iranian student in Alabama, they don't know, he wasn't involved in any protests. Nobody knows why. The Venezuelans who were snatched and sent to El Salvador, and these judges. When is somebody going to charge someone in the Trump administration with contempt of court? How many cases have these judges said, don't take them out of the country? You can't move them down to Louisiana, and they do it anyway, and they don't pay a price. Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing, but it's been incremental. You start with doxing people, harassing people. You have rich people in New York telling Eric Adams, you got to go on Columbia's campus and arrest people. So it didn't start with Trump. And who went along with this genocide? It was Joe Biden. So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that big phony who was working tirelessly on the ceasefire, they deserve as much condemnation as Trump and as Netanyahu and all the leaders, so-called in Congress, Republicans and Democrats, for whom this is something that they will not stop and will not question. And all our human rights, our civil liberties are at stake because of it. I really think Palestine is central.
I definitely agree. And I think that on the domestic side, the Mangione story is still front and center, as it should be. The fact that the DOJ, but more specifically Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's just a toady, let's be honest, that person just does what they're told, to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione and his CEO Brian Thompson murder case. As has been pointed out, AG Pam Bondi has ordered the DOJ to seek the death penalty. Luigi Mangione alleged. I didn't see nothing. I don't think you saw
nothing.
An innocent man and father of two young children, Brian Thompson. I don't think Brian Thompson is an innocent man. I don't think he's innocent at all. In fact, as far as
fathers of young children, it's like when you deprive people of health care, you're killing people. So a killer was killed. And I don't understand how this is a federal case anyway. How is this a federal case? Why is this not a New York case?
It is. It's both. It's both. But the only way they can get the death penalty is on the federal case, because New York doesn't have the death penalty. So they have to have this. But the problem is there still hasn't been a federal indictment. And I don't understand exactly what they're going to be able to charge him with federally. So it's interesting that she's seeking the death penalty when there isn't he hasn't been indicted on a federal case yet. Like, I don't like it's just all posturing is what it looks like to me.
The
Well,
DOJ.
it's lawfare. You're using the law to get somebody that you can't get
Yeah.
otherwise.
Well, the DOJ is saying that the attack is an act of political violence. Well, you know what? The act of being the only developed nation on earth that doesn't have a single payer healthcare system is an act of political violence that we are aware of. 70,000 at a minimum die every year from a lack of health coverage in the United States. That cannot be quantified in any way other than it's mass murder. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And, this country's normalized violence. That's violence. You kill people because you tell them, oh, sorry, you're not covered for that. The fact that we have more people in prison than any country in the world, that's normalized. That gives Trump and others license to expand that system. War, the fact that is it still half the federal budget, the Department of Defense, which they should actually call the Department of War. Go ahead and let's be honest about it. Our money goes to kill people. Our money goes to private insurance, which doesn't help us. Our money goes to help to sell weapons to or give weapons to Israel and other countries so that people die directly because of public funds in the U.S. As you can't keep normalizing these things and not expect it to have an impact on ordinary people and the way people perceive Mangione. I mean, who condemned Mangione?
The people.
I don't think they're not going to be able to find 12 people in New York to convict him. Because I am someone who actually, I do care about law. Like it mattered to me. I say that past tense because at this point it's like that shit is just out the window. But I am telling you right now that I could be, if I were sitting on that jury, I would watch the evidence. He could turn around, smile, and wave at the camera. I'm going to know that the kid did it, and I am still going to acquit him. And the problem is, if I feel like that, a lot of people feel like that. So they're not going to be able to get him. I mean, that's why they have to keep doing this trying to get a federal thing going, because they're not going to be able to convict him in just a state jury trial.
And as his attorney, Karen Agnifilo, has said, by seeking to murder Luigi Mangione, their decision is political and goes against the recommendation of the local federal prosecutors, the law, and historical precedent. While claiming to protect against murder, the federal government moves to commit the premeditated state-sponsored murder of Luigi Mangione, including in what is probably the most difficult state in the union to get an execution, which is New York. And so this should come as absolutely no surprise, because this is a political execution. This is how they feel that they are going to stop the movement towards universal health care in the United States. As far as I can see, this is only helping further the cause, because it's proving that Luigi was right, if he did actually do it.
Right. I think it's a very difficult case for them, because he's generally a sympathetic figure to the average person. I mean, he was caught at a McDonald's. I mean, it was something very weird. That they had this manhunt, this nationwide manhunt, and some quirk about a McDonald's in Pennsylvania that he was captured at all. Eric Adams, who we've discussed already, he felt obliged to join the perp walk against him, looking like an absolute clown, which is what he is. But at any rate.